You know, it fucking figures that in order to be able to get any kind of back and forth going on with another channel, it would have to be over something stupid like trying to defend Michael Burnham. One thing I noticed just a few moments ago before I decided to record this is that it's kind of funny that the act of defending Michael Burnham largely involves talking a lot of shit about her and making her out to be a weak or ineffective character. Because the complaints about Michael Burnham seem to largely revolve around competency above all else. How dare a TV show be about a competent person or a hyper competent person? Hyper competent people do exist, even in real life. Even Robert Heinlein, famous science fiction author, he could do all sorts of different kind of shit. Was he a Mary Sue? Was Daniel Boone a Mary Sue? Was George Washington a Mary Sue? Was Thomas Jefferson a Mary Sue? Was Genghis Khan a Mary Sue? It's too vague of a term to be throwing around, and it's not useful at all for the conversation. You're automatically going to turn off a bunch of people who hear you say that, and they're not going to listen to what you actually have to say about the complaint. And from my own experience of trying to describe to normal everyday people just what the hell the Mary Sue thing is, you sound bad just telling people about it, let alone being one of the people accusing things of it. So it's a weird thing to be hung up on. But if you really, really, really want to, just for a little fun and shits and giggles, hear about my new contention. The Mary Sue thing that's going on in Star Trek Discovery isn't Michael Burnham. The show itself is the Mary Sue. Now, I got the list of what Trexpertise's criteria for Mary Sue-ness, which the Anti-Trekker has done a couple videos on way back in the day, and I have this screen paused over the list. So let's see. A Mary Sue is a character, usually female, who is impossibly skilled and implausibly good. Well, that's the Starship Discovery right there. Starships, ships in general, typically referred to as female, and impossibly skilled. I'd say your mushroom teleporter drive is qualifies as an impossible skill, and implausibly good. Well, your science vessel with the hyper experimental mushroom teleporter manages to also be a really effective combat vehicle. Yeah, that's a little implausible. So let's see, another rule. Typically a young girl, she enters an established world, amazes canon characters with her beauty and wisdom, and warps the plot so she is at the center of it. Well, once again, there's your show, and the show about the ship Discovery. Plopped right into the Star Trek timeline 10 years before the original series, with all these connections to original series characters. And the ship is super important and critical to the winning of this big war between Earth and the Klingon Empire, which is kind of also not only a way of the canon characters being enamored with the ship, but you could say that that's a way that the plot is warped so that the ship is at the center of it. Let's see, it has an exotic name, unusual eye color, or fabulous hair. Well, the Starship Discovery's got that fidget spinner thing going on in the center of its saucer section, so I guess there's your exotic appearance. Everyone falls in love with her. Yeah, I mean, everyone on the ship was like, yeah, this is a pretty cool ship. Didn't seem to really want to get off all that much. In fact, a lot of people went to a lot of effort to get on that ship. And a Mary Sue is particularly offensive as she is an idealized stand-in for the author. I guess that might be the hardest one, unless you're like, the show in general has the hubris of trying to say that it's able to be contemporaries with the original series created by Gene Roddenberry, and for the most part, the highlights written by D.C. Fontana. So, okay, there you go. Star Trek Discovery itself is the Mary Sue. Now, what do you do when you can describe a goddamn television show as a Mary Sue? Shall we just start going deep into the rabbit hole and start looking at all the movies and TV shows? Maybe we can find some novels. How about some albums? You know, Guar's Carnival of Chaos. That was a pretty Mary Sue-ish fucking album. We can just do this shit all goddamn night. Fuck it. Hit like and subscribe.